Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Diz.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. All right, everybody, welcome back. So, quick recap. Seems like everybody's been able to satisfy the demands of the inspector, and they've been left free to go. We've done a little bit of cleanup in terms of how much money they've made. The group definitely feels like they're in a bit more of a rich place than they were before. And we were just heading into probably one of the last long rests of the downtime activity before we really return to needing to do everything on a day-by-day basis as maybe some other stuff comes up. But in the meantime, during that long rest, Kenna is going to try to determine these two potions. Mm-hmm. And this is the long rest where some fun stuff happens. So, Kenna, we're going to do yours first. Okay. So you spend your long rest trying to figure out these potions, and after spending most of the night on it, you feel fairly confident that the red potion is a supreme healing potion.
Supreme?
Yeah, a supreme healing potion.
That's crazy.
Which, for those of you without the thing, is... Yeah, where's my what my healing potions are? I don't have to use it all that often. Supreme healing potion is that's for poisons, potions of mind reading. Oh, here we go. Supreme healing potion is 10d4 plus 20.
Jesus.
Damn.
He's a rich guy.
He is indeed.
That was his backup plan. If he was to get murdered in bed, he'd just roll over and
Just gonorrhea potion.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, the other potion remains kind of an enigma. It doesn't seem to be poisonous, at least as far as you can tell. It doesn't seem to have any healing properties. It doesn't seem to be dangerous, at least as far as you can tell, but its true purpose remains a mystery to you. All you know for certain is still the label that is placed on it, which just reads, "Drink for instructions."
Al? I might just have to drink for instructions.
If you wish, you can do that now.
I don't want to do that right now because I'm tapped.
And this wouldn't be the first long rest since your debacle.
Okay. So I'm good now. Okay, good to know.
Wipe the sheet.
So we've leveled up.
Yes, you are leveled up at this point as well. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The next level up will be harder.
Probably gonna have to drink it. I'll tell the group.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you could just buy somebody to identify it.
But literally it says drink for instructions.
Yeah. Why would you take it?
Because it's gonna give me instructions.
The potion was very clear. Okay, so Kenna warns everybody that she's going to do this.
Is anyone talking me out of it? Give me a good reason.
But I'm assuming it likely is the instructions that Wells was receiving from his organization.
Yeah, wouldn't we want the intel of that?
We're gonna learn.
Is now the right time to drink it, though?
What if it's something urgent?
Yeah.
I like just tossing in random
But that's
things.
what I was gonna
say. I have no desire, like, one way or the other, but I love doing it.
What if it's important? What if we, like, time sensitive? What if it'll give us more intel on what's happening with Mary? What if it,
We attack at dawn.
What if it turns you into zombie Kenna? And then the instructions are, don't drink the potion.
That'd be the best potion ever. Drink for instructions, you drink the potion. It's like, you shouldn't have drank the potion. I like it. Next time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, go for it. Sounds like you've thought this through and you're confident in drinking a random potion that we found in Wallace's flubber.
Fine, I won't drink the potion. Put it in my inventory.
I love how it's the first time Kenna wants to do something for the party that's maybe slightly dumb, and everybody that's had way dumber ideas jumps all over her about drinking
Actually,
it.
what
Yes, I was like,
I'll drink it.
I was meaning,
He's like, this is on board. He'll drink it.
no, drink it. Like, I was saying drink it. I was like, you thought it through, so
Drink.
I wasn't arguing with you.
All right, Kenna, final call.
This is trying to peer pressure you into doing it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Nim says as long as you thought it through.
Yep.
Lazarus is generally against it because it's a random potion.
It's because Lazarus is the guy at the party going, guys, my parents were very clear. No one's allowed in the liquor cabinet.
Like, that makes sense. But we're not gonna
Lazarus is the paladin. By definition, he's the wet noodle.
He's gotta be.
It's not even his fault. It's just what a paladin is.
Hence why he slapped the boss to death with Nim.
Mini boss.
Okay. Kenna,
Mini boss.
final call. Drinking it or not drinking it?
I have a nice D4 here. 1, 2, not drink.
Well, now I don't want to because I'm nervous. And I was fine before. Now I'm not.
I'm supportive.
Is it because Nim disagreed with you?
No, it's because Nim agreed with her. Now she's like
Agreed.
second guessing herself.
Nim disagreed. You're like,
grab it
wait
away
a
from her and
second.
drink it.
I mean, I can't
Okay, fine, I'll
really...
just drink it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Drink.
All right. Kenna drinks the potion. She takes it in one solid swig, and almost immediately her vision clouds, and it is replaced by darkness.
You're going to meet Meyer.
This lasts for a few seconds, and I will describe what you see first,
Yeah.
and then what you hear second. So, as your vision returns, you feel very much like you're tripping. You're having a hallucination for sure. Everything's a little blurry, a little not in set positions. Everything is just a little fuzzy. But one thing that is very clear is you stand in a large, undefined room with pillars. And in the center of this room, just in front of where you stand, is a large throne made out of black crystal of some kind. And there is something sitting upon this throne. It's not especially large. You feel like with your regular height, this creature is only maybe about twice your size. But nevertheless, it's an imposing figure, and especially because of the kind of waviness of this type of vision, it's just black, indistinct. You can see two very clear horns projected above the head, but other than that, the form of the creature
The creature's
is
black?
it's all in shadow.
Okay.
You're not sure if that means they are black, or if it's just that that's just how the vision is projected through the potion. As you take a second to gain your bearings, you begin to hear a voice, like it's coming from a faraway distance, but as it gets closer, it becomes more and more clear, until you pick up on a faint, deep voice that kind of sounds like it's talking to you from the bottom of a well, almost, is a good way to describe it. And the message you receive is as follows. You are doing good work. We need only 2 more weeks for the assault to be ready. Distract the Stronghold as you can, and they will not see the strike coming. 2 weeks, and the device in the ether will fire, making the rift permanent. That is all. And you find yourself seated in the room with everybody else.
You said so many things. You can't write that fast.
I'm sorry, you'll have to get what you get. The potion only had one use. busy sound of notes being scribbled.
Well, that's not good.
Sorry, what's not good?
So there was like this room, and there's like this creature, and there's like black crystals everywhere, and they were on a throne. But the important part was they said to me that doing good work, they only need 2 more weeks, keep distracting the Stronghold, and then the strike will be coming, and the device in the ether will go off, and it'll fire, and it'll make the hole permanent.
That doesn't sound good.
I think I got most of that right.
Okay. Now, while you all take a moment to digest that, the 2 of you finished another activity during this long rest. Each one of you completed your god puzzles on this long rest. For each one of you, for Dis, your metal semi-spherical puzzle interlocks back together as you get it back together and becomes one solid piece, like a metal bar bearing. And you do feel out of it kind of a wash of a feeling of completion, and with that, you fall asleep. Lazarus, similar to yours, as your cube interlocks and becomes solid and complete, it glows a vague golden color for a moment before going completely inert and becoming just another vaguely cube-shaped rock. You too feel a sense of completion and fall asleep. Each one of you, as you rest tonight, are visited in your dreams by your respective gods. Dis, you find yourself floating in an empty blackness, much as you often do when you're communicating with Meyer, and we'll get to what he says to you in a moment. Lazarus, completely different to yours. You wake up in the dream in a soft meadow, surrounded by a river that rings this small plateau, waterfalls cascading to each side, basically surrounding you in waterfalls. And at the top of those waterfalls above you is a beautiful woman, just laying against a rock, kind of overseeing those waterfalls. And in each of your minds, you hear your respective gods ask you one question. What is it you desire?
A weapon to destroy my enemies.
Okay.
I suppose Lazarus would say, to make the world where people like Lazarus no longer need to carry weapons.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
to each one of you, your respective gods, as much of them as you can see anyway, seem to accept your answers. And you find yourselves in that dream, facing off against enemy after enemy. And each new enemy you encounter, you find your visualization of the weapon that you imagine your puzzles will provide you solidifies more and more. Almost like these dream fights are helping you as a person to discover what weapon would suit you the best. It kind of grows as you do in the dream. Now, for those of you listening, we did have a side session where we talked a little bit about what each of the players wanted from their god weapon. So we'll get into that a little later about kind of what they've discovered of your weapon. But that is how your gods basically communicate to you and decipher from you what the weapons need to do. To give you an in-game explanation of kind of how that happens. So, each one of you wakes up the next morning, and Kenna obviously has had this experience. So, this is probably as good a time as any to end the downtime activities. So what we will do is that is all of the information that you guys have gathered. That obviously, as some of you have mentioned, you still have various holes to fill up, things like the chainmail guy, what's going on with the powders. You now have this new thing about something out there in the ether. Obviously, Mary, who, by the way, because I assume you checked in on her.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, she seems fine. She's just growing a lot. She could effortlessly pass for a 16-year-old girl at this point. Without really any attempt at all. You do notice as well, her thinking seems to have come along as well. She's definitely not a 16-year-old with, however young of a child's brain. She's definitely, even as you guys kind of talk about next plans and stuff like that, you find like she can chip into the conversation at several points, and it at the very least seems to have progressed mentally as quickly as her body is growing.
We're going to explain this one to the mayor.
No,
No, I swear this is Mary.
We swear this is your daughter.
Funny story.
You got
So-
snapped.
At this point, I assume you haven't used the blue powder on her, though it's up to you if you wish to now or not.
It's Little Heroes Call.
It should be the Little Hero's Call.
I think, the little hero will talk to Mary about it and
Okay,
ask her opinion on what she thinks.
go ahead.
So, Mary, we've kind of noticed you've been growing pretty fast. We have this blue powder. It might limit that. We're not really sure what the effects will be. We know it counteracts the magic you've been exposed to, so just wondering what you think, what you would do.
She pauses for several moments, very much seeming to be kind of internally struggling with what to do next. Finally, she kind of... I don't know. Part of me likes that I've grown bigger and seem to be more... What's the right word? Self-dependent compared to how I would be if I was smaller. I do worry about what the powders may have done to me. I'm also a little worried about taking other powders.
True, but we also do not know whether your continued aging will cease.
That is true. If you believe I should do it, Nim, then I will do it.
Yeah,
Give her the
hero.
powder.
Just throw it in her face.
How?
I think we're already there, just as soon as he said it.
Okay, so next question being, do you just give her the whole thing? Like everything you have left? About a quarter of the vial?
Where's she supposed to take this?
Well, so far you've just been throwing it at
Snort it.
people.
Just draw out lines for it.
Do you want to mainline this?
Hold on, we'll show you how to crush it up.
Nobody at home mainline any blue powders. I will not be held responsible for this.
Maybe we give her like half or a quarter of what's left.
Yeah, I'll take out sad powder, or I can give it to Nim either way, but just take out like a pinky finger worth. Give it to her. So
Okay.
like, just eat this, I guess.
Okay. She, she seems unsure, but nevertheless, she takes the powder. Nothing really outward seems to happen.
Quick, Nim, use your eyes.
My magic sight?
Yes.
Oh.
No, just use your regular eyes. Nim, look at her.
Well, that's what I was confused about. Nim was about to be like, yeah, she's a girl.
Hang on, let me check.
Okay.
Okay.
We know she's aged, but don't.
Okay. In terms of the using detect magic, there's definitely, like, you can still see that reddish energy. It doesn't really seem to have decreased all that much.
All right, I think we got to give her more.
All right, open up the container. I'm like, open up.
Okay. She takes the rest. Nim, as you're watching, you can see the kind of deadening effect that the blue powder tends to have on the reddish weave that the red powder generates. You can see it reducing, but it isn't removed completely. As you watch, her stature does shrink ever so slightly. Whether that's due to the blue powder itself or just kind of the effects of the red magic not being as prevalent, you're not sure. But she drops, like she goes from being somebody that could probably pass for a 16-year-old to being maybe closer to like 13. Like you do notice that reduction. But nevertheless, the energy is definitely still present in her body.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait until the inspector manufactures more of this.
Yep. Hopefully it slows her aging down a bit, though.
Yep. How do you feel, Mary?
Okay, I guess. I'm not really sure.
Alright, she sounds like she did before.
Yeah, it feels a little weird. Kind of tingly, I guess.
That makes sense. You're shrinking.
Yeah.
Alright, well, if that changes, just let us know.
Okay.
I guess after that, I would continue with the activities of just showing her how to use a weapon.
She's definitely been taking to that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was showing her how to cast cantrips too, wasn't I?
Yep. She's actually quite good at that. It's only been about 3 or 4 days since the Wallace incident, and she's got a pretty firm grasp on some of the non-combat related cantrips.
Nice.
I teach her dancing lights.
Okay.
I'm like, you have to fight with the dancing lights around. It gives you more bounce in your step.
She takes pretty much everything you say 100% literally. So for the next, day and a half, she doesn't practice knife work without dancing lights being active.
I give her a nod every time I see her doing it that way.
Okay. So, that handles the immediate problems. During this time, I assume you've been hiding out in Lil's basement?
Yeah. I was doing my thing around Wallace's while
Yes.
watching for the body go up.
It is during that time, keeping an eye on Wallace's mansion, that you notice a couple of things. First of all, several times, what appear to be other sections of guards try to kind of move their way into the investigation, and each time, the inspector's group kind of shoos them away.
Can I, those ones that are trying to get in but are failing to get in, is it the same group every time, or is it...
Different groups. Different guards groups, different uniforms, different weapons, that sort of stuff.
I want to take note of the uniforms or what the signifier is on them that...
Okay, just so if you see them again, you'll kind of remember who they might be.
Exactly.
Okay, no
Or
problem.
at least the symbol of whose house they are.
It is also during this time that you notice at this point none of the bodies are being removed. You can see people going around and investigating on a fairly continual basis, but at this point, nothing seems to be being removed from the location. If anything, the security around the location is being intensified.
They're finding more shit. They're just like, oh my god.
And it's during these times that at one point when you're kind of peering around a corner and keeping an eye on the building, you feel a soft tap on the shoulder.
I just turn around calmly.
You turn around and to you at this point, very familiar robed individual is standing behind you. He just sort of gives you a very polite nod before kind of leaning in. Noticing anything interesting?
The bodies haven't been removed.
That is certainly curious. So, where have you guys been?
Been around.
So I can tell. I would like to take an opportunity to thank you all personally, if I may. Though I realize only you're here right now. I don't suppose you could take me to the others.
No, I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. I can make sure I forward your thanks to the rest of the group, though. But you must understand, we're trying to lay a bit low. And showing anybody where that is just seems dangerous.
Of course. That's not a problem. I came merely for 2 pieces of concurrent business. The first being, I'm afraid it's time for payment again.
I think we can handle that. Maybe not at this moment, but could probably get you a meeting with the rest of the group in that case.
Very well. Pick a time and place.
I'm just gonna say the day after at 10 p.m. Something late. I don't know what time the artificial light goes out. Yeah. It goes out.
Yeah.
So I'll go 10 because that's still. And I'll just tell him to go to Lil's place. It doesn't really bother me.
Okay.
I think I'm just not gonna say where in there we were, but just head into the bar and we'll meet up.
Okay, sounds good. Very well. I look forward to that. In the meantime, feel free to pass along my thanks. We were able to get a considerable amount of work done during all the chaos in Wallace's mansion. Your assistance was appreciated.
No, we're happy to help.
I'm glad. Very well. See you tomorrow. And he just sort of wanders off.
Guys blow in the hole and stuff.
I check back in the corner again. Watch.
It all seems fairly normal.
Have I seen my Fabergé eggs being moved?
Not that you can tell. Really, nothing seems to have been pulled out of the place yet.
Okay, good. If I see the eggs, I'm trying to do something to get them. Steal them.
Okay.
I want those.
Okay, sounds good. In the meantime, obviously, Dis comes back to you guys at some point and gives you this information.
Yeah.
It's up to you at this point, I suppose, if you want to fully pay them off as part of the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, nope.
Maybe. We'll just toss an extra like.
We did
few hundred gold.
This was
on
the
top.
easy
It
thing.
never come
According to them.
That's true. This was supposed to be the easy
ever
favor.
again.
This is what?
This was supposed to be the easy favor for the money you guys owed.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Skinner?
I guess we should probably inform him of the happenings, and especially of what we learned from the drink for instructions potion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should
Okay.
maybe let Lil know about that too. Lil?
Well,
So we're
have
gonna
we
be under
not?
attack in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'd assume we already let Lil know.
Yeah, we haven't specifically said we told her.
Okay.
We should probably.
So, in the meantime then, because you'll have to wait till midnight, presumably you will meet up with the raspy-voiced individual and give them their gold.
Mhm.
Is there anything you try to get out of them during that meeting? Like, do you want to,
What were you
RP
guys
the
working
meeting,
on?
or are you more just of the mind of giving them their gold and kind of being done
I
with
would
them?
be curious about what Sasha's been doing. Since he was the one who got her in there in the first place.
You would have to ask him directly.
Yeah.
Okay. If people want to RP it, we can certainly do that, so that's not a problem. Yeah. You guys, I assume you're all going to be in the bar and kind of leave, like, nobody in the basement just in case they go looking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you go out for the appointed meeting time, and the individual, he's just sitting at one of Lil's tables. Kind of sees you and waves you all over.
Go sit down.
It's good to see that all of you made it out alive.
Of course, we're surf and turf. No man or woman left behind.
Of course. Well, I hope Dis passed along my thanks for your instrumental distraction. Not quite the way we had planned, but it worked, so no hard feelings.
How much does it take off her debt?
How much, as Kenna was saying, does that take off our debt?
Well, let's see. The initial assignment you were given was to defend Wallace's manor, and he himself. I think we can both agree that neither of those things happened.
We defended the original Wallace. He became something else afterwards that we had no obligation to defend.
That seems like a bit of semantics to me. Regardless of what he became, he is now dead.
Sounds like an awful lot of... Sounds like you're trying to cut down on the amount you owe us.
Perhaps. But you can't argue about the results.
Can't fault us for trying.
Very well. I'll give you a deal then. I'm more than willing to take off the original amount agreed. If you can tell me anything important you learned from Wallace before his death. Perhaps it would help if I told you why we were interested.
Probably.
Very well. You seem to have earned that information. We had reason to believe Wallace was involved in, shall we say, anti-Stronghold activities. It was our purpose to attempt to discern this information. And then, of course, do with it what we need to. So
Well,
with that in mind, any helpful information you might have.
I don't suppose Lazarus has a lot of insight that they're actually after.
Yeah.
You can try to insight him, but you can't see his face.
Yeah, but I'll try an insight, I guess, just from what I can hear.
Sure.
Which is not going to be great for that.
Lazarus is unsure.
Well,
Surprised.
we may or may not have information that pertains to anti-Stronghold plans that Wallace may have been involved in, but maybe we should revisit the costs that you were willing to spend for that. This information is pretty serious. And it took us... Well, we had to risk our lives for this.
One of us had to risk our lives for this.
I can assure you, the Blade's Shadow is very interested in any information that you might have.
Maybe in that case we call our debt paid with this information.
I highly doubt the information you would have would be worth over 7,000 gold.
That's because you haven't heard it yet. But I guarantee you this information will cost the marker on many, many times that.
Interesting. Very well. We will meet halfway. If your information is as good as you say, I'm more than willing to look at removing some or a significant portion of your debt. But I, of course, cannot tell you until I know what it is.
It pertains to timings of an attack.
An attack, you say?
Yes,
And the effects of the attack.
and the effects of the attack. Exactly.
On the stronghold itself.
Yes.
Of course.
Well, that certainly is very interesting. Very well. Give me what you have.
And in return, we will receive.
If it is as useful as you say, then sure.
Our debt will be considered paid off.
Exactly.
Insight.
Okay.
He's going way out of his way to not repeat what I'm saying. I'm trying to see this for a reason. Inspiration.
That sounds about right.
That didn't work that well. 14.
He's definitely avoiding repeating your exact words. Why that would be, you can't tell. It's up to you. You do know these people are somebody Skinner's asking you to actively investigate, so it's up to you how much you trust them.
Yeah.
If we're investigating them, we don't trust them.
But we trust Skinner. Probably slightly more.
Probably slightly more. Or we could tell them and see what they do with the information.
How would we track it?
Just movement, I guess. I'm not sure. I'll try it.
How loud is it in the bar right now?
There are conversations going on at each table. So, normal crowd, rambunctious drinking volume.
Okay, I'm gonna try to cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
And just try to probe his surface thoughts.
Sure. Not where. How are you trying to disguise the act of casting it?
Well, I mean, if I'm sitting at the table, he probably can't see my hands, so I would assume he
True.
can't see the somatic components. And if it's normal bar level, then I'll just try to act like I'm whispering something to Kenna or whoever's beside me.
Oh, look, a coin.
I'll just like normal conversation, like nothing,
Okay.
nothing like out of the ordinary. I'll just be like,
Okay.
and my cast for it'll be, "Hey, Kenna, I'm detecting his thoughts."
Nim. The most subtle of spellcasters.
That's why he needs a multi-class sorcerer to get that subtle spell casting.
Okay, so Nim tries to sneak his detect thoughts past the man in the robes. And he doesn't react outwardly. You cast the spell, you focus your mind in his direction, but you receive nothing.
I was getting dumb as shit.
It's not that. Everybody has some level of surface thought. You get absolutely nothing. Like,
Walking.
they're not even there.
Oh, he's probably wearing an iron or a
Lead
lead hat.
He's got
That sounds
tinfoil hat.
comfortable.
Well, it just has to be paper thin lead, so as long as his helmet has like a sheet of lead on it, then it doesn't.
It's one possibility. There are more simple ways to circumvent the spell than that.
With magic, probably.
With magic, just the barely obvious stuff, like it might not be a person, they might not actually be there.
Oh yeah, it could be a image projection.
Apparition.
Right then, with this,
Could be a construct. You never know.
or Dis doesn't really trust, but you already gave him a hint about the attacks, so
True, though that doesn't tell them much without the follow-up information.
yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go.
All we know of, or all we found, is that within 2 weeks there's going to be an attack from this anti-Stronghold group. Some sort of attempt to lay waste. We don't know much more than that.
So, technically you're lying. So roll deception. But obviously most of it is true, so I don't imagine the check is going to be all that hard. Speaking of which.
30.
30? Okay. I was like, it was either 3 or 30. And I was like, which is it? Okay. Well, I have to admit, while that is certainly interesting information, it doesn't exactly give us a lot to capitalize on.
It gives you a timeline.
I don't suppose you know where this attack will be.
On the Stronghold. That's all I know.
The Stronghold is a very large area with many layers.
I would look into the demon summonings if I were you.
I can assure you we will. Very well. Well, I won't lie. I don't think that information is significant enough to wipe out your entire debt. But I'm a man of my word, and I don't want you to think your intel is not appreciated. So, why don't we call it a removal of another 1,000?
Bringing our total debt to
6.1, I believe.
How about we call it 1001, make it even number.
It's a tough negotiation, but very well. We'll call it 6K even.
Britt fucks the numbers. Britt just made it
Okay,
worse.
it's just like.
Are we just gonna pay that
we're just
off?
gonna pay it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna drop the pouch of gold on
Yeah.
the table, I guess.
We all just pull out a pouch of exactly 6,000 gold. Because I'm just assuming we're lucky
Do we have
enough.
that much in platinum?
We do. Well,
we have
we can
1,600
600.
platinum.
So if we just take 600 to 1,600 platinum, then we
Yeah.
can just drop that on the table. It's a lot less conspicuous than 6,000 gold pieces on the
I
table.
want to split it into copper.
Swimming.
Given the
You're not
standard
in.
equivalent
You're
of
not a
money.
vengeful teenager trying to pay your tuition fees in pennies.
So 1,000 platinums, 10,000 gold?
So I'll give, I'll pull out 600 platinum in a bag, or in a pouch, and...
Okay.
That should call it square.
Well, this is certainly a surprise. I had expected it would take you much longer to pay it back. Ah, well. I suppose everything can't go the way you want. Very well, then. Let me ask you a question, then, Servant Turf. Do you wish this to be the end of our relationship?
We could still call ourselves acquaintances. Pass along information that may help the other at a cost.
I see.
A give and take, then.
Exactly.
Very well. I suppose we can deal with that. Since it is easier for us to find you than the alternative. A simple negotiation, then. If you have a piece of information you believe that we may wish to purchase, or perhaps trade a piece of information of our own for, we'll keep an eye on the laundromat. And if you would like to talk, simply hang a discarded dirty sock on the door frame at the close of day.
Dobby?
Gross.
And we will come to talk before the next morning. I believe that will be sufficient.
Makes sense.
Well, since this will be the end of our business arrangement for a little while, a free piece of information then for your own perusal. Rumor has it that a certain group of adventurers may be very close to being allowed to rank up another level, should they prove one more act of assistance to the Stronghold. Just something in the grapevine.
It's good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, until we meet next time, then.
I had one more question.
Very well.
The healer who healed me before, Sasha, I believe her name was.
Yes.
How has she been? Is she doing well? Still expecting a visit from possibly the most heroic drow to ever walk this planet?
I cannot speak to her personal thoughts on the matter, but she is well.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. He reaches down, picks up the gold, well, platinum, and walks out of the bar.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! No longer in debt to possibly shady organizations.
Possibly.
Well, I mean, you do still work with the Thieves Guild almost directly, so,
Well, yeah, but
you know,
at least there's honor among thieves. Mostly.
Is there?
mostly.
You've played Skyrim.
So, that's more or less all the downtime activities. That still leaves you with a fair amount of open quest pointers, we'll say.
Yeah.
So, in the interest of knowing for when our next session begins, what you guys are the most interested in and kind of where you'd like to go from there, what's everybody's thoughts on what needs to get taken care of now? What's your next?
I think
Shopping spree.
we need to deal with the shopping sprees up there. The other thing is...
That's interesting. What sorts of things do you guys think you still need?
Well, I mean, isn't Lazarus still wearing the same common clothes he's always been wearing?
You guys have put a very, we'll say minimal effort into your appearance so far.
I think we need to be
Lazarus
badass.
at least
Fancy
need
it
to
up.
clean
We
himself
want to
up.
fancy, but we got to be like badass adventure fancy, where people are like, "Oh, those guys mean business."
I also assume you do still want to meet with Skinner, probably tonight. We
Yeah,
can probably
and then,
finish that before our session ends.
The other
today.
thing, we have to deal with, definitely have to deal with the device of the ether while fire making the rift permanent.
So
That seems
does that
important.
mean
That
we have to
seems like the
enter
most
the
urgent.
ether through the tear and like?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
We're probably gonna.
You'll have to
that
get
along
past
to,
all
like,
the guards
Lil
to go
and
in that
Strain.
we have to
Well,
talk
I
to
mean,
Lil,
we're-
I think, and Strain, and we have to figure out
How?
any way we can help with this. I mean, shit, the information by itself, it has to rank up and help us get in and actually help with it, or...
We don't.
We're also gonna have to explain we drank a potion to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could go back to Inspector too and get him additional.
That's true. Yeah, we can use the Inspector.
Okay.
I guess I'll also, to finish off the downtime activity with my newfound wealth, I'm going to copy those 2 spells that I have scrolls of.
Okay, so
Okay.
how much does everyone get then?
My addition
that's-
was ruined.
Yeah, it's split the gold amongst yourselves first, and then obviously
So
Nim
we
can
have
take.
58,000.
We're gonna have more than... Sorry, this is my discourse.
We have 58,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take out my...
We're gonna have...
It's 1450 each.
Yeah, 1450 each,
Or
and
14,
then...
14,500. But how much are we giving to the bank?
25% tax.
So that is out of 14,500.
14,500, and then we have a 25% tax. It'll be 3625.
Yeah, 3625.
So, times 1.
So 14,500 minus 3625.
Yeah.
So 14,500 goes into the bank.
And then we should each get 10,875 gold, I believe.
I have to add an existing gold.
And
So 14,500 goes into the bank?
Correct.
and then
We each gain 10,875.
I have 10,914 gold.
I mean, what was the rule on? One second, I'll look it up.
What, weight?
No,
Weight of gold?
I told you already, as long as it's not obscene, I definitely, there's no way you guys are carrying that amount of gold on you. So, I would recommend picking how much you want to keep on you, and then discussing what you're doing about keeping your gold safe.
we should start a bank.
Bags of holding.
Start our own bank.
Look how broke people are in the market run. Like those girls who tried to hitch a ride in us couldn't spend 1 silver to teleport. Shit, we could give out loans with crazy interest.
Okay, so apparently I only have to spend.
Yeah, that was
Glyph.
Surf and turf definitely becoming loan sharks. Suppose it fits the name.
Then we have the laundromat to launder money in too. I mean, we can set up.
So
a
we're
crazy
going
criminal
to become a
enterprise.
mafia. All right.
Yeah, I think we could pretty easily. Assuming, this whole place survives.
So of the money I get, which was 10,875, I'm spending 250. So immediately on spells. So I now know Gust of Wind and Glyph of Warding.
Ooh,
Okay.
warning.
And everybody else has how much gold they now have?
Indeed.
Okay. We'll discuss what you're going to do with your gold probably at the beginning of next session, because that'll give you guys some time to think about what you want to do about that kind of stuff. In the meantime, it is very nearly midnight. The presumption being to talk to Skinner today. You guys are ready to do that?
I gotta go.
Okay. In that case, then, we will end for today, and we can do the rest of it after that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. See you next time, guys. Wow, what a cliffhanger. I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Double Doubles and Dragons next time.